do you at least have a little worries now about their training staff? Like like they broke Severino 17 times before he could come back. They're doing it again with Rodon. What is going on with the medical staff in New York where they can't just get anybody healthy?
I don't know what's going on with their training staff. I'm worried about this division being that it's such a difficult.
No?
It is, but what scares me about this division right now is you have Tampa that's not losing. You have Baltimore starting to grow and how they're growing as a team. And they have a lot of young farm system guys coming up this year that we'll probably see after the All-Star break that are going to make them even better. They have one of the best catchers right now in the MLB. Early in the season, this guy was a top prospect. He's fantastic. And you look at Toronto. Toronto's pitching staff is a lot better than they were last year. You can see that, and their bullpen is better than it was last year. So Toronto's dangerous too. And then there's the Red Sox that are still right there. They're lingering. So that division.
If the Red Sox get any pitching, they could be halfway good.
Yeah, this division is so good. So being that the Yankees are so injured right now, it's going to hurt them. So as they get healthy, as it gets warmer and these guys come back, they could be 8, 9, 10 games behind all the teams in front of them. It's going to be a chase match for the New York Yankees all season long. So this really hurts the Yankees. The whole Carlos Rodon thing is.
Who was the catcher you mentioned? You mentioned some catcher.
Yeah, Baltimore.
Adley Rutschman.
Oh, right, Adley Rutschman. But I wanted to say, since you mentioned the catcher, how do you feel about your boyfriend, that fat toad Gary Sanchez, just being thrown out of baseball because he's
my boyfriend? I don't think he's my boyfriend.
Gary Sanchez is a Yankee.
I loved him. I loved him as a power hitter his first 3 years, and then he fell off with the whole Joe Girardi thing. The whole Girardi thing after the whole Alex. Remember when Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez sat with him and stuff like that? He was never the same player after that. Gary Sanchez was never the same player after that. And I saw that. And I said that the Yankees needed to trade him.
Jennifer Lopez?
I don't think it's the curse of Jennifer Lopez.
Good thing they didn't buy the Mets.
I remember that he was having problems with Joe Girardi. Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez went out to lunch with him, and he took him out to lunch. And ever since that lunch with Alex Rodriguez and everything that happened with Joe Girardi, when Joe Girardi was fired from the Yankees, or they parted ways with each other, and they brought Aaron Boone couldn't take Gary Sanchez. It was just never going to.
So it couldn't be that he's a fat toad, right?
Well, we knew he was bulky anyway, but the other thing with Sanchez, we talk about work ethic. He never improved on the things he was bad at.
He had a tremendous amount of talent.
Dude, Franchi Cordero is still in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we know. Franchi Cordero had to save the Yankees for about 2 weeks with his hot streak.
Max Scherzer. Oh, God.
But not that fat toad. He's out of the league.
Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander returned for the Mets, but Max Scherzer looked horrible against Detroit. I told everybody when they brought him in, I thought it was crazy giving him a 3-year deal where he made him the highest paid pitcher in Major League history. I didn't like the move by the Mets. I don't want to hear from the Met fans. It's only 3 years, and we only have to contend with him for 3 years. Justin Verlander looked good when he came back, but they can't hit for him. So it's going to be a problem for the Mets.
Did he look good?
He did. He looked.
I thought back-to-back home runs in the first inning. Ever since then, he was fine.
Listen, I think Justin Verlander, out of both these guys, I think Justin Verlander coming off of the UCL and what he did with the Cy Young last year with the Astros, I still think he could pitch at a high level. I don't know how high, but Max Scherzer's done. He is absolutely done, and you could see it the way he's throwing the ball. So
maybe Max Scherzer and Gary Sanchez can go play for the Nippon Fighting Ham.
Max Scherzer's not going to be unemployed, Jeff.
No, he's still...
Maybe that's what they should do. That's the new battery for the Nippon Fighting Ham in the Japanese league.
You know, it's so interesting because I think Max Scherzer would be better for, as he moves forward in his career, if he decides to continue playing, he'd be good in the bullpen.
That's interesting.
He'd be good in the bullpen.
High strikeout rate.
Yes, I think he would be good. And he could throw harder if he's not pitching, 5 or 6 innings. And with the way he throws the ball, you could put him as a closer. You could put him as an 8th or 7th and 8th inning guy. Mm-hmm. I think he'd be very, very good in that position. I don't know if he's a starting pitcher anymore. And you can see it. The way he throws the ball, his release point, everything. He's had problems gripping the ball all season, really since the season started.
Right. He had the issue mentioned with the pitch clock, too, not being able to adjust to that. And that was the biggest thing I worried about with the Mets building the team the way they did, too. They have a lot of guys that aren't used to this kind of thing, the pitch clock, because they didn't have it experience in the minor leagues.